Hey Apex Agents, Mobius Y here with another video for Mass Effect Andromeda's multiplayer. This is part 2 of today's character build guide, taking a look at the Turian Agent. And this is a gold game on Firebase Paradox against the Outlaws. Now, at the time of recording this, there was a daily challenge for waves on Firebase Paradox, but I was already done that, so I was trying to get some additional tech points to complete the second daily challenge. But me and Joe wound up getting Firebase Paradox completely at random, which is totally fine. So, the bread and butter for the Turian Agent in this particular setup in part 1 is Tactical Cloak and Flamethrower to burn stuff and watch it die. That's essentially how it goes. If you have not seen part 1 where I go over in detail the exact build and setup that I'm using on this character, check the links in the description below to take you to part 1 of this build guide. It's actually a pretty short one this time, so it shouldn't take up too much more of your time. And a big thing about doing this effectively isn't just using your powers in conjunction and timing them appropriately. It's also really heavily focused on positioning. You want to make sure you're coming in from the right angle where you can hit as many enemies as possible with your flamethrower as quickly as possible, because your flamethrower is also a little bit of a crowd control tool, because when things are on fire, when enemies are burning, especially in the Outlaw faction, they go through a whole animation where they're panicking because they're on fire. And that is the only bit of crowd control that you have going for you. Yes, the fact that enemies that you hit with your flamethrower are doing a little bit less damage to you, that does help, but it's not going to be the be-all end-all to save your life. You need to make sure that you are hitting enemies as many as possible with your single stream of flamethrower. Set as many on fire as quickly as possible, and don't stop hitting them with the flamethrower stream until they actually do start panicking. Then you can turn the stream over to somebody else and start hitting a couple other people. You'll see me do that plenty of times when I attack spawns of mooks and sub-bosses. Most of the enemies in the Outlaw faction do suffer some kind of crowd control when you set them on fire with the flamethrower. So it's a really good faction to play against with this character and with this setup. They also have a lot of armor, with their saboteurs, their anarchists, their agents, their berserkers, and their hydras all having armor. And the only shielded enemy being the pariah, which can be a pain in the ass to deal with this particular character, but it's only one enemy out of several. So, on top of most of those sub-bosses except berserkers and their mooks being raiders and adhees, and even sharpshooters once they're de-shielded, going through a whole I'm on fire panicking animation, you can opt yourself in for quite a bit of crowd control. I did say pariahs are the only shielded enemy. I meant the only shielded sub-boss, pardon me. Sharpshooters also have shields. Pariahs have shields. You pretty much have to hit them with the entire stream of flamethrower, cloaked or uncloaked, if you have a hope of taking them from full shields to health and actually inflicting some kind of burning damage to either of those enemies. So it's a major pain in the ass. You got to be pretty choosy about if you do want to just go in and use your flamethrower to take out a single saboteur or a single pariah, or if you should shoot them once or twice to drop their shields a bit and then hit them with the flamethrower. That's something that you need to pick up on as you play this character and level it up, and as you try to get more familiar with how to use it effectively. As I said, berserkers on gold difficulty from a full blast of a cloaked flamethrower can be brought from full health down to nothing. Obviously, they will die from the lingering burn damage, but nevertheless, it's still a single combination of your powers that will take down a very annoying and pretty dangerous sub-boss in a single cast, which is really nice. Things like hydras and fiends can be taken from full health down to about half, sometimes a little bit less depending on how long you're able to hit them with the stream of the flamethrower, but it's about half because they just have so much HP, and that's even with the lingering burn damage. From my experience. So it does a lot of damage if you're able to get the whole stream off and you can run away and just let the whole lingering burn do its thing over the course of the 8 or 9 seconds that it's inflicting even more damage. So it hurts. It packs a pretty wicked punch. And even then, you're still packing a pretty nice punch with your weapon of choice, just because Tactical Cloak offers such a huge damage bonus. In this case, in this particular gameplay, I have the Hesh. You don't see me using it a hell of a lot as I was trying to farm those tech points, what's it called? The tech power points for the challenge for the day. So I'm intentionally trying to use flamethrower more often than I normally would. But a gun like the Hesh is really nice. You can use something else that you're more comfortable with. However, I cannot stress enough, I highly recommend using a Siphon variant of whatever. Even if this means going back to using, say, a Siphon Disciple or a Siphon Ruzad. Just something that forces you to get in close where your flamethrower is effective as well, and something that will regenerate your health when you shoot things. That's another choice you need to figure out, that whether you want to hit them with flamethrower or if you want to shoot them a bunch and regenerate some of your health back, especially if you are very, very low on health from a previous engagement. So that's essentially all it really comes down to. You pop the recon visor occasionally, especially when you're attacking a spawn. The recon visor is very handy to help you identify what exactly is in there and better decide which angle you want to come in from to catch as many enemies as possible in your flamethrower stream almost as soon as you cast it. So it can be useful for that. And as I said in the build guide, if you have the shield regeneration option at rank 6 of support systems, or the defensive tech passive on this character, you can pop your recon visor every now and then if you need to get your shields to start regenerating, and if you don't think that that it is currently on its 10-second cooldown, because it does only work once every 10 seconds. Anyways, I'll leave it at that. Enjoy the rest of the gameplay. Remember, this is part 2 of this character build guide. Check the link in the description below for part 1, where I go over this build and exact setup that I'm using in this game you see here. For more Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer content, feel free to subscribe to my channel, as I upload a new video every Tuesday. If you would like to see my live streams, which are on the same day in the evening, check my Twitch channel in the link below. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter. Again, link is in the description below. This has been Mobius Y for Mass Effect Andromeda's multiplayer, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Good luck, Apex.
Ugh.